vibe gotta have just to taste just a little bit of I say now, I'm ready, baby. And all I gotta know is, baby, you never have to know what's up. Yeah, I love you, baby. Can you see that?
Welcome back to The Mix. RCP, Respect Yourself, Check Yourself, and Protect Yourself, is a campaign started to highlight the epidemic that our community is facing with the HIV and AIDS rate. Today we have community activist and founder Donovan Thomas. Welcome to The Mix.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Pleasure. Our first question is, Donovan, we all know that it is an epidemic, not only that's affecting us here in the States, but around the world. What is it that motivated you to begin the campaign? Is it something personal, close to home?
Part of the reason is I'm from South Florida. I've been here pretty much my whole life. And it's something that's really hitting our community in such a big way. And I personally don't feel that it's being talked about enough. You know, when you hear about South Florida, you hear about the beaches and the nightlife and, you know, all of the gorgeous people. But
parties.
There's something, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but there's something that's really not being addressed, and that's HIV and AIDS. And the stats are staggering. So with that being said, you know, we have to do something, and that's kind of what spurred me to do it.
Very staggering. I've seen the stats as like 1 in every 35 person or 35th person is infected with the virus.
That is close. Part of it is a lot of people who are infected don't even know it,
Right.
because they've never taken a test. So a lot of the stats are probably even worse. You know,
Right.
just in the fact that we live in South Florida, we're in what they call the epicenter for the virus. A few years ago, in 2007 to be exact, we had some of the highest rates in the entire United States of America, and that being Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. 3 neighboring cities, and to know that we had 3 of the top 5 in the entire United States,
Yeah.
it really should take us all by surprise. Not only that, it should call us to action. But I don't think those stats are really out there as much as they should be.
It's funny because it doesn't show up at all.
It doesn't. And the crazy part is, HIV and AIDS, it doesn't have a face. You know,
Right.
It doesn't matter how many degrees you have. It doesn't matter, you know, your educational level. It doesn't discriminate.
No.
But what it does care about is those people who say it can't happen to me,
Right.
Because those are the ones that are being
Which
infected.
seems to be a lot. A lot of people do think that with the medication and everything that's happening now, even if they do get it, they'll be all right. So you don't see a lot of people scared of it like one time.
Yeah, but it's still a deadly disease, whether you
Yeah,
get
but
medication or not.
you don't
you're
see
gonna
people
die
really
from it.
scared of it. You don't see people going,
Yeah.
It's kind of died down.
you know,
over the
Nah,
you don't
years.
see, in
scared
the
of it.
80s, so many people were dying. In the 90s, so many people were dying. I personally know 2 people with AIDS. They are still alive. So it seems as if even with the information out there, the younger generation are looking at it and going, I don't know anybody dying from it. I'm not really scared of it. When we were growing up, people were really dying from
So
it.
you think because it may not be closer to home that they're...
A lot of people aren't going to do a lot about it. Yeah, I think that's the problem, is a lot of people don't fear it like one time.
But
Donovan.
my question on that is it really out there though? I mean, I commend the Mix for even touching on this topic, because if you really look at media nowadays and just how it's really being addressed, it's not until World AIDS Day,
Yes.
you know,
Right.
National Testing Day. And with us having as high of a cases that we do in our South Florida area, you would think you would hear it all over the radio,
Yeah.
see it all over
Needs to be
TV.
to the forefront instead of the back burner.
Exactly. So I think that's another reason why people aren't scared, because they don't think it's serious.
So what are the stats here?
The stats here in South Florida are staggering. Just in 2008, because there's always a little lag in data, but just as it relates to Black and minority populations, over 50% of the new HIV infections are among women. Not only that, Black women. The infection rate that's happening is mind-blowing, even as it relates to teens. It's estimated that every single hour of the day, 2 new teenagers are becoming infected.
What I want to know, what I want to know is, with a lot of the stats that are coming out, a lot of the stats are affecting the minority group, the Black group. Why do you think the numbers are so high in our community?
Well, I think part of the reason is the stats that are being reported are coming through surveillance, through individuals that have went and gotten tested, which that's a big part. A lot of people are not, but they're also being sent in by the clinics, by those that are uninsured or that need this help and the resources in the community, and who most are accessing these,
Right.
accessing
Okay.
these services.
So do you think the numbers for the other populations or the other groups in South Florida are lower because they are not necessarily using these public services? Because I looked at the rate of white females compared to, because I'm a black female, so I looked the white females to black females and Hispanic females to black females, and we're in like 6,000 and they're in like 757 and 2,000. Like, I mean,
I think part of it is a combination of, again, lack of resources. And I think that sometimes if you have private doctors and things of that nature, you can go ahead and if you are positive, you can access treatment and care. And it may not be something that's disclosed out in statistics. But if you visit any health facility or any registered site and you do test positive, it has to be charted among statistics.
Right.
So I think that the numbers are a little bit skewed. That's why I don't really
I didn't know that.
focus as much on the statistic end. But what I do know is that the black community, minority community is being hit at alarming rates. And the part of it is spreading because a lot of people don't know. Now, we do have numbers of people that have been tested, but just imagine all of the people who you know, on a regular basis, oh, I'm not going to get tested, or I don't want to know.
I remember standing in a club one night after watching, this was like 2006, after watching a commercial. And in the commercial, there was, it said 1 in every 13 people, or 1 in every 10 at the time. So I'm standing in the club on the balcony, everybody's drinking, everybody's having a good time, and I started counting. 1, 2, 3. I was like, oh my God.
Mind-boggling, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, I do that too. What I would like to know is, like, could you tell the people a little bit more about the RCP? What programs do you do? What are you involved in?
And the tie-in, your shirt.
Okay.
Your shirt.
The shirt. On the front of it, it says, I have HIV. And again, this is not a regular scene that you would see. It just shows that on the back of the shirt, and if you could flip it over, it says, if only it was just that easy to tell. Now, all of the people who are watching the segment, even those who are conducting the interview, you see the front of the shirt, and it automatically puts HIV with me and potentially anybody else who has a shirt on. But if someone is not wearing this shirt, how often is HIV really on our minds? And as high as the stats are in South Florida, we have to find other ways to get the message out and to make people at least think about HIV, and to say, you know what, that particular person or my particular partner, or if I don't know their status, or maybe I don't know mine, I'm hoping that this shirt will put it on their minds, either encourage them and their partner to go get tested, or they themselves say, you know what, that person may have it, and I could possibly expose myself because they may deal with somebody that I may come in contact with in the future. So it's something that we just got to get the dialogue going.
So,
Thank you.
how long has the organization been in existence?
Well, we actually started in 2006, and originally it was just really to help out, to help get the message out, to break the silence, of which I know this shirt will definitely do that. And it's really to get people to start to address and to talk about HIV again. But it was started in 2006, just a couple people from the community just really wanting to make a difference.
So Donovan, how do we get in touch with your organization to find out more about your organization if we want to volunteer and stuff like that?
Okay, we're currently not a government-funded organization, so everything we do is based on volunteering people who just have a passion to make a difference. One of the key things they say is you don't have to be infected to be affected. If you go around, there are people who are living with the virus, yes, but there are people who have been touched in some way by the virus. So if you visit our website, it's www.rcpmovement.org. We have Twitter, we have Facebook. For those that are still on MySpace, we have that too. YouTube clips, condom demonstrations, the whole 9 yards.
Thank you so very much for being with us here today.
Thank you for
We
having
greatly
me.
appreciate you being on the mix. And thank
Appreciate
you
it.
for informing us. And when you have your next campaign, please come back and let us know, because this is such an important topic. I wish we had more time to cover it.
Yes.
So next time you come back, we'll get more in depth into the stuff that you're doing in the
Definitely.
community.
And in February, we have a concert coming up. It's going to be free to the public, but the only way you can get a ticket to the show is you have to take an HIV test first.
Thank
That's
you.
what's up.
Stay with us. When we get back, we're going to have a very special guest with a very special story, Monica Folsom Willis.
Yeah.